The customer states that they want a new hose reel here, but they couldn't find the style that they wanted. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint this one. We're going to revitalize this hose reel right here, and I actually think it is quite a nice style myself, so I think it's worth fixing. Let's make sure the water is off here, and we're going to pull all the hose out and detach it. Yeah, I'm really liking the design here. I'm looking it over. All right, we're going to take the hose off at the base here, and now we're going to get these screws out. It helps to have a driver to get these out. Sometimes they can be in there pretty good. And the whole thing's just going to come off the wall here, and we can go start prepping this very beautiful hose reel. Got a wet rag, and let's just start cleaning all the nooks and crannies, and let's tape up the hardware anywhere where we don't want our paint spray to go, like on this handle here. Now, what I'm doing is also, while I'm taping this, I'm deciding sort of how I'm going to attack this project, and I feel that a 360-degree method is going to be the way to get it done. And what I mean by that is I'm going to have to turn the handle as I spray, and also I'm going to have to work my way each side around this hose reel, because there's so many different angles on something like this. And I encourage everybody to make sure that you are not laying the paint on too heavy. When you spray, we're going to go light, because it's going to hit those same areas again because of all the different angles that we are attacking this project. So we got everything taped up, and let's just get started. And again, you always want to keep the can moving. You don't want to stop. So when your hand is on the trigger, the can needs to be moving. And if you remember to do this, you will never get any buildup or any runs where paint will build up so much it'll start running and look kind of globby. And it just becomes a disaster and something you don't want to deal with. So when you press the trigger, you have to keep that paint, you have to keep it moving. That's the main goal here. Keep the can moving, keep your arm moving while the trigger is engaged. Whilst. There's a word for you. All right, so as you can see, I'm turning the crank here, and I'm trying to get in every area. See, I turned it. That's not painted. And I'm going light, because if I go too heavy, like I just explained before, you're going to get way too much buildup on the areas that you already painted. All right, so we did one side. Now we're going to do this side. And again, very, very light. I'm hitting it, and we're just working our way around. I didn't attach the hose there where I taped up, because whoever put it on originally, I think they used some type of lock seal on it, and it just seemed like it was like almost welded on there. So that's why I pulled the main hose off from the wall, and I just taped it up, and it is what it is, and there's no point forcing it. If you have to force it too much, it's not worth it, and you will most likely damage something. So just keep that in mind, folks. All right, continuing on, and I'm speeding things up here. I'm not gonna show every little detail that I've done here, because how you do one side is how you do the other. But basically, take your time. You get the idea. We have our bolts here too. Don't forget to do your bolts. It really is a nice finish, especially if they're old and rusty, to make sure that we get those done as well. And here we go. But before we put the hose on, we're going to let this sit 24 hours, because the paint, even though it's dry to the touch, it needs 24 hours to really harden up. And there we go. The one on the left is the old one, and then the revitalized is on the right. And I just think this looks fantastic. This turned out really, really well and saved the customer a pile of money. I mean, honestly, it didn't take that long at all. Good luck with your projects.